What is going on? Welcome to today's episode of the Green Industry Podcast. Today we're talking about the top 10 most frequently asked questions from lawn care business owners. Really excited for this. We got some very juicy questions that I'm going to answer on today's program. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are then going to upload this to Apple and Spotify for podcasting. So let's get right into it. The top 10 most frequently asked questions from lawn care business owners. Question number one, how do I attract more customers? So in business, you obviously need customers. That's the lifeline. That's who pays all the bills, is a satisfied, happy customer. So how do you get customers? Well, there's an online approach that you want to master, and there's an offline approach that you want to master. Now, the offline approach is word of mouth from simply you just doing a good job in the neighborhood, and word travels. People talk, and you will pick up customers through word of mouth by doing an excellent, excellent job over time. In addition to that, did you hear that? In addition to that, you want to be excellent online. That looks like having a good Facebook page where you have fresh pictures of your work and you're active and it's current. Your last picture isn't from 2024, right? Which is last year. You want fresh pictures and videos from this year, and you want to be active. I would start with a very healthy, vibrant, fresh looking Facebook page, which is like a portfolio of your work. And if you want to do other social media, your customers are probably on Instagram as well, but for sure, Facebook. Homeowners are on Facebook. In addition to having a Facebook page and possibly an Instagram with, again, active, fresh pictures, you want to build up what they call SEO, search engine optimization. So Google is the biggest search engine in the world. Now, with all this AI stuff, Chat GPT and all this AI stuff it's shifting to that, but we're not there yet. Okay. I'm recording this in 2025, and Google is still king in 2025 in regards to search engine and stuff like that. But there's something called Google Business Profile where you can create a Google Business Profile for your business. Then when somebody searches lawn care near me, you want, Google to show you. And then when they look at your profile, you want to have as many Google reviews on there as possible, preferably 5-star reviews. And you want some fresh pictures. Like your Google business profile is essentially like an extra website. So, and that's all free for you to create, Google Business Profile. And then in addition to that, you want to have a good website. Shout outs to Footbridge Media. If you guys need a good website, Footbridge Media, they can build you one of those that will be professional, very high end, and excellent. And I think they're going to raise their prices soon, but right now it's only like $200 a month for Footbridge Media. So I would do all of that. Local SEO through a Google Business Profile, that's free to make. Facebook page, that's free to make. But again, be putting fresh pictures on there. And then I would have a website, which costs money. If you use Footbridge Media, that's $200 a pop per month. Be active on social media. And then offline, just make sure you're doing really good job so that you'll get the word of mouth referrals. So let me get a sip of my water here. No fancy water today. Just water out of the refrigerator. All right, we have Klein. Look at this on YouTube. Klein Lawn Care and Snow Plowing. Keep up the hard work with the content. Enjoy listening. Thank you, Klein Lawn Care and Snow Plowing. And their profile picture there, it looks like they got a little boss action going on. Nice little barn too. Well, thank you. We appreciate you watching on YouTube. And thanks to everyone who's been encouraging us to put these on YouTube and Facebook. I used to only do audio only, which is our favorite thing to do because then I don't have to turn the camera on. But we want to get this information out to as many people as possible. So thanks for watching Klein Lawn Care and Snow Plowing on YouTube. What should I charge for my services? This is frequently asked question number 2. What should I charge for my services? That's probably the most frequently asked question, honestly. These aren't in any order. These are just the top 10. So if you are in the beginning of your business, year 1 or year 2, what you want to do is discover what the bigger companies in your area are charging and basically just copy them for year 1 or 2, because if they've been around for a long time and they're in business still, they obviously have figured out their pricing so that they can pay all of their insurances and all of their labor and all of their business operational expenses and be profitable. So if they're charging whatever they're charging per yard of mulch installed, per bale of pine straw spread, per maintenance for a specific size yard, literally just copy their pricing. That's for, I would say, year 1 or 2 if you're starting. Now, when you get into year 4, 5, and beyond, you want to do what I personally do. I track all of my expenses. So in real time, this morning at 10 a.m., I had a meeting with a financial consultant who we looked at my business expenses, we looked at my business income, we looked at my personal income, my personal expenses. We looked at all the numbers. And I know my numbers, and I know what I need to charge to break even every month. And I just know my numbers. So my pricing now is based off of me calculating my cost for over 14 years now, 15, whatever it is. I've been in business since 2011. So I have a lot of data to work off of. So it helps me to know my cost. I count the cost. But when you're starting out, you don't have that information. Just research the local markets, not of Chuck in the truck, not of the guy who's staying in the van, but the big company in your town. Try to find out what they charge. And I would just copy that for your first year or 2. Now, here's a mistake. I'm getting off script here, Mr. Producer, but this is a mistake that a lot of folks make. They're not clean with their bookkeeping and all of that. What I have actually a whole separate bank than I use for my personal stuff. I keep those separate. But 100% of income that I earn serving a customer goes into my bank, my business bank account. And then 100% of my expenses to run my business, I have a lot of expenses, they all come out of that business account. Pardon me, that business bank. They come out from a separate account, but they're all the accounts are connected in the business. It's the profit first plan for Mike McCallowitz. But all the business stuff is in the business. Now I pay myself on the first of the month a certain amount that covers my rent, that covers my groceries, that covers my $200 a month gym membership and my eating out and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling in May for personal. And so I'll pay out of that for the personal. Well, anyway, the biggest mistake that small business owners make is they have that stuff kind of blended and they don't really know. But I can know to the penny how much income came into my business last month. And then I know to the penny how much expenses came out of my business last month. Now, thankfully, I just looked at all the numbers this morning. My income was larger than my expenses. So we are in profit mode. But that was the question. What should I charge for my services? Copy the big companies in your local market when you start. Then keep really clean records of your books. Shout outs to the landscaping bookkeeper. If you guys need a bookkeeper, Megan and Joey Coberly, they can take care of your bookkeeping needs. That's who takes care of mine. So all of my numbers are clean, so I can look at those numbers to create future pricing. And getting okay, yeah. Thank you guys. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can leave a comment, and I'll get you a shout out here in a moment. Frequently asked question number 3. These are the most frequently asked questions we get here. I've done coming up on 1,500 podcast episodes talking all about running a lawn care business. I feel like we're just warming up. So here's the frequently asked question. How can I manage my schedule efficiently? I'm honestly asking the same question. I use ChatGPT, and literally this morning, I was just asking ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, here's today's date. Here's all the things I need to get done today. And like I had literally asked that ChatGPT, like, help me make a schedule today. And I've been laser focused. on just getting things done as we had planned. So I also use a CRM, which is a customer relationship manager. So it's called Horizon 360. It's by Toro, and that manages everything with customers, scheduling, things of that nature. So I use a lot of technology between a CRM, Horizon 360, between Chat GPT, and that has all my workflow, all my scheduling, all my productivity taken care of. And then what I'll throw in there, how can I manage my schedule efficiently? You have to eliminate the distractions. I know you may have seen my face on social media. I try to publish content on there, but I try not to just scroll through TikTok and watch all the funny videos. And there's funny videos on there. They can get me. I forget what it was. It was recently. I was watching a video. I'm trying to think what it was. I laughed so hard. I thought my neighbors were gonna like come and check on me. I mean, I was laughing so hard. I'm trying to think what the video was. It was a good one. Um, Man, maybe it'll come to me. But anyway, I saw social media and I literally was just laughing out loud. Just that was so funny. And here I am. I can't even remember what I saw. But my point is to eliminate distractions. I have a business mentor here in Tampa. His name's Myron Golden. And one of his main messages is about getting focused. He goes as far as say, you shouldn't be watching sports. You think any of those guys on your favorite sports team care about you? They don't even know your name. They don't even know my name. Are they going to send you any money on the first of the month when rent's due? No. And we give our energy and we give our time to cheer them on as they pursue their dreams to win the championship in whatever sport they play. Myron's more like, use your time to create something, to be productive, to serve someone, to build a business. So how can I manage my schedule more efficiently? Again, get a CRM. I recommend Horizon 360. I also use ChatGPT at the beginning of the day to just kind of help me schedule the day and remind me to make sure I get everything done. And I've kind of trained ChatGPT with what my overall goals are and stuff like that. And then I would eliminate distractions. I'm personally in that fight. It's a temptation for me to open up my phone and start scrolling, but staying focused on being productive, on serving customers, and improving as a person. Next frequently asked question. And again, we're live on YouTube and Facebook, so feel free to drop a comment and I'll get you a shout out. When is the best time to hire employees? When you're consistently turning down work because you don't have the manpower to do it, that's kind of a telltale sign that you need more labor. Meaning you got customers who are saying, "Hey, Paul, we want to pay you money. We have this need. We have this. We need you." And I have to say, we can't. We just don't have time. We just don't have the manpower. That's a good time to know that you're ready to hire. The flip side of that is overextending yourself. Some people get fat and happy too soon, and they hire somebody or somebody's too soon, and then they don't have enough work for that person, and then it doesn't make sense financially. So I think the rule of thumb is if you just have so much work that you're turning down, I mean, you just got job after job after job after job that you're like, man, I would have made bank doing that, but you told them no wisely because you knew you couldn't serve them and maintain your current customers. That might be a time to start thinking about. And don't get peer pressure. Just because everybody else is building this big business on social media, you have to move at the speed of cash. You have to move at what you can afford. Don't just do what somebody else is doing on social media. I know one of my friends, Jonathan Potoshnik, he built a big business, right? 15 million, 20 million, big business, crushing it. I have other friends, Jason Krill, Tony Rudolph, and there's several others. They're just solo. They just work by themselves, and they got that dialed in. They've had their favorite customers in their favorite neighborhoods that's close by to their wife and their children, and they don't mind saying no to all the extra work and just staying in their lane. So you have to kind of know which one of those paths you feel that the Lord wants you to do for your life, and then just be smart when you hire somebody that you have so much demand for your work that it makes sense to hire them. Quick sip of water here, and we'll get to the next one, which is juicy. All these questions are, they come up a lot. This is a recent question from somebody I was consulting in a little predicament that I don't have permission to talk about, but here's how I summarize the question. How do I handle difficult customers? Okay. I disagree with that saying that the customer is always right. That's not true. Sometimes the customer's wrong. And I could share stories, but now that I'm on social media, people follow me on social media, I don't want to name drop people who have been a pain in the butt. But the customer's not always right. Okay. Sometimes you have customers that are taking advantage of you. For example, I'll go ahead and share this story. I had a customer. I was brand new at business. Okay. I did not have Toro's Horizon 360 CRM yet, unfortunately. But I had integrity, and I had a schedule. I had a certain day every week. I did a certain yard every week. So went out there. I lived in Georgia at the time. It was hot Atlanta, they call it. We mowed this lady's yard, edged the driveway and the flower bed, and trim the bushes, and then we blow everything off, make it look really nice. I was making another mistake. I was getting paid at the end of the month, which I changed after that to getting paid on the first of every month ahead of time, prepaid. And lady, I go to get paid, and she comes out and she's like, "Hey, you said you wanted this amount, but I'm only going to pay you this amount because you only came 3 times." Like, "No, man, we came, every Thursday." My friend Tyler is a college student, so he had no classes on Thursdays. We worked all day, and I was like, "No, we definitely worked. Like, Tyler was here every Thursday. We mowed your grass. It looks pristine and perfect. Yada yada yada." And now all of a sudden, I'm in this argument with the customer because she's trying to only pay me 3 of 4 payments. And Tyler, he's cooling me down. He's like, "Paul, come on, settle down." It's all right. I mean, I was livid at this lady for being so cheap. And the thing is, we cut her yard every week. So who was right and who was wrong? She was wrong. We came every week. The customer's not always right. So what could I have done to prevent this misunderstanding? Simply had a CRM earlier, because then I could have just shown her, and Horizon 360 didn't even exist back when I had this altercation incident. But I could have just opened, I could have just showed her, "Yep, we were there Thursday at 2:11, the next Thursday on this date at 2:17. And then she had all the fancy security systems. Like, "Hey, let's pull up your security system at that specific time on this specific day, and you'll see us out there sweating, mowing your grass." And the other mistake I made to prevent this, one second. The other mistake I made to prevent this was I was charging at the end of the month. I should have just charged her on the first of the month. And then most people that pay their bills, they don't even think about it then. So that was another thing I made. So I would say, how do I handle difficult customers? You have to have policies in your business that's going to prevent most things. Another policy that I learned the hard way: no guarantee on sod. It gets 92 degrees in Atlanta. You put sod out. Now, I'll guarantee it's going to be green when it goes in the grass. And I'll take so many pictures when we're done of every area. So it's proof in my phone that the grass is green when we put it down. And I would demand with the sod supplier that they only deliver green grass. Okay. But after that, if the customer doesn't water it as we instruct, then that's on them. There was a job I had to do over 3 times. The original time, they didn't water it enough. Then I had to replace 10 pallets of sod and pay for it myself because the customer blamed us. Again, customer was not right. he didn't water it enough. So we went out, we put new 10 pallets of sod in. We had a historic drought, and he clearly didn't water it enough during the drought. It died again, and then he demanded I come out and do it a third time. We did it a third time, and then I told the guy, you know, I'm not cutting your grass anymore. This is ridiculous. He was mad at me. I was mad at him, but it all could have been prevented if I would have had the wisdom to, when the customer asked me for a quote on the job, to include on the quote, here's the price. There's no guarantee on the sod, no warranty on the sod. We'll guarantee that it's going to go the day it goes in. It's going to be live, active, and then beautiful green. But it's a living organism, so you have to water it. Okay, you guys are bringing back memories here. Let's take a comment to calm me down. Our friend Klein Lawn Care. What are some great ways to provide value for employees? Well, one thing is, just imagine if you worked somewhere. You would want to see a future there. You would want to see that if I do a good job, I'm going to grow. My job here is going to lead to promotions. It's going to lead to more money. It's going to, you have to let your employees dream big and see that, wow, if they work for your company, they're going to get raises. They're going to make more money. They're going to be a part of something special. And so in sports, this is a great example. A player gets excited when they go to a good team. They're like, oh man, this team's going somewhere, right? This team's on its way to the national championship in college, or this team's on the way to the Super Bowl in the NFL, right? And they have something to look forward to. The culture's about winning and success, and there's a future, and that creates hype. So if Chuck in the truck with his black and mild hanging around his ear and his boxers hanging out hires, Pookie's not that excited to work for Chuck in the truck. He's just doing it to make a little bit of money so he can pay his bills, but he's not excited about working for Chuck in the truck. So you want to build a business. You want to build a culture when you bring an employee on that they get hyped, that they're passionate about being a part of something special. And that is so important. The money, of course, is a driver, but that's not the only driver. There needs to be some emotional excitement that let's go win, baby. Let's grow this thing. Let's, and create that value for the employee to have something to look forward to when they wake up in the morning, that they're excited to go to this job. We've covered so far, how do I attract more customers? What should I charge for my services? How can I schedule more effectively? When is the best time to hire employees? How do I handle difficult customers? That's the first 5. And I'd say also about the question that came in about great ways to provide value for employees. Pay them good, pay them on time, be professional, and just reverse the role. Imagine you worked for your company. I had a guy actually ask me this back in the day. He's like, Paul, if you worked for Jameson Landscaping, would you be excited to go to work in the morning? And he knew my answer was no, because I was disorganized and I just, things weren't dialed in the way they needed to be. And he had the wisdom to ask me that question. So if you didn't have a job, you didn't have a business, Klein Lawn Care, would you be, when you wake up in the morning, would you be like, man, my dream job would be to go over there and work for Klein Lawn Care? That would be awesome. If I could work for them, like, you'd be pinching yourself. How do you create a company that would answer to that? Most frequently asked questions. What question is next? It is this one. What equipment should I invest in first? Well, for a lawn mowing company, quality mower would be step 1. Cut that grass, make that cash. And I said quality mower because I didn't start with a quality mower. I started with this thing called a Murray. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. It was not self-propelled, and it was not quality. You need a string trimmer. Um, the string trimmer, I like Echo. I like Steel, or I've used Echo and Steel. I've used Red Max as well. So I've used those 3 brands. Crest commercial. Trying to think if there's any other ones. Husqvarna's one was good, very light. All of those brands are good. They're commercial lineup. So they you want the commercial grade string trimmer. Um, some people call it a weed eater, weed whacker, but that can weed eat for you. And it can also, you can flip it and you can edge along the driveway and the flower beds with it. So you need a quality mower, you need a string trimmer, and then you need a backpack blower. Tony Rudolph um, texted me the other day. He's impressed with the Red Max blower. So um, Echo PB9010, that's a good blower to have. So yeah, that's the trifecta of equipment right there: a quality mower, a quality string trimmer, and quality blower. Now, from there, you just start getting tools as you define what extra services you're gonna do, right? If you're gonna install mulch, you want those little pitchfork things. You don't want a shovel, because a shovel doesn't do as good as the one with the prongs that gets underneath the mulch. So you're gonna want to pick up one of those and a tarp. You're gonna want to obviously have a vehicle. You don't need a brand new truck. I would say the dumbest. I got to be careful, because a lot of people go out and buy these new trucks. You don't need a brand new truck to run a lawn care business. Are you kidding me? You don't need a 2025 Chevy. You don't need a 2024 F-150. I get a lot of scrutiny, because people. Well, Paul, all right, I gotta be careful. A 2018 Chevrolet Silverado, a 2015 Ford F-150, those can get to the customer's property and pull your trailer and get your job done fine. So you do need a reliable vehicle, but it doesn't have to be brand new. The first like 3 years, 4 years of a brand new truck, it depreciates so crazy. So crazy. So it's not good to buy a brand new truck for a lawn care business. It's not. A slightly used vehicle, you could have a slightly used trailer. Or if you want to get a new trailer, get a new trailer. But that's where I would start: mower, string trimmer, blower, and then some type of vehicle and trailer to haul those along. Most frequently asked questions lawn care business owners ask: how can I differentiate my business from competitors? How can I differentiate my business from competitors? Well, number one is just do good customer service, do good work. Most people in the trades, most people in lawn care and landscaping, they don't do good work. They don't. So if you just have sharp blades on your mower, I would say start there. You can watch some YouTube videos on how to sharpen blades. And there's so many. Mitchell Gordy's a great guy that watch on that. Mythgo, my friend Mitchell Gordy, he has a blade sharpening company where people bring them their lawnmower blades, and he sharpens them for them. And then obviously his lawnmower blades are sharp. But when your lawnmower blades are sharp, it's going to cut the grass. So it's the tip of the grass is nice and crisp. It's going to make the grass look good, versus somebody with dull blades. The grass is going to look like shaggy. So how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? I would start with making sure your blades are sharp every morning. Whatever routine you want to do, when you get done mowing for the day, before you go get a shower and get all that grass off your body, then you can sharpen swap out your blades real quick, so the next morning you can start fresh with fresh blades on your mower, or sharpened blades. You don't have to have brand new blades every time. You can sharpen the ones you currently use. How do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? I would start with sharp blades. I would have a strong brand identity. So when you think lawn care business, you usually think Chuck in the truck, right? He's in his raggedy t-shirt and his raggedy truck with his black and mild, and he does a half butt job. So if you do quality work, you really make your customers' yards look nice. You wear a uniform, a company uniform, then you can set yourself apart. You have a Google business profile with quality reviews, you'll set yourself apart. It's a good question. Next question. What marketing strategies are most effective? Well, door hangers still work. Flyers, postcards, those still work. You want a website. I shouted out previously Footbridge Media. If you guys don't have your website yet, Footbridge Media can build you a website for a couple $100 a month. Social media, you want a Facebook page for marketing. Most people who own a home who are going to hire somebody to mow their grass, they're on Facebook. Facebook is huge. Facebook is huge. And you can put fresh pictures of your work on Facebook. You may want to do Instagram as well. And then collectively with your Google business profile, with your website, you want to build up your SEO. Your Google reviews are huge, absolutely huge, to get as many quality Google reviews as you can. And that consistent branding is going to help your marketing. You also want to make sure when anyone sees your brand, whether it's at your website, on your Facebook page, or your truck driving through the neighborhood, that it just looks clean and your brand is clearly represented there. We'll do a whole podcast coming up on marketing strategies because it's something that I study. I was studying it today. I was grilling a steak earlier for lunch and listening to Dan Kennedy teach about marketing. And I was just like, my mind was just being expanded with the knowledge he was sharing about marketing. It's so important. The best businesses market great. I'll share this real quick, and then the next question's juicy. The next question is probably the most frequently asked question in the lawn care business that's ever asked. But I did an Instagram reel the other day where I was next to a Bentley car. Okay, these Bentleys go for $250,000 and beyond. It's the cost is outrageous for a Bentley. And I was looking at the Bentley, and I was looking at the tires and the wheels and the windshield specifically. I have a Honda Accord for my personal everyday commuter vehicle that I drive to the golf course, grocery store, whatnot. Is my windshield, my Honda Accord, 40 times less than the Bentley's windshield? Like, does the Bentley's windshield, did it cost the manufacturer 40 times more to make that windshield? No. Did it cost the manufacturer 40 times more to make those wheels on that Bentley? No. Why is the Bentley $300,000 car? My Honda Accord is $19,000. That's a nice Honda Accord. It's been very, very reliable, great gas mileage. It's only $19,000. I paid cash for it. Practice what I preach. I'm debt free, baby. Bought it in cash. But why is the Bentley worth over $300,000? Because of that little B logo on it, the little Bentley logo. This is Bridgestone logo on my hat. Shout out to Bridgestone Golf. They sent me this hat. But the B of the Bentley has this branding effect of grandness and excellence and premium and luxury. It's a Bentley, baby. Think about it. If you're leaving the grocery store, there's all these hot girls, where there's all these attractive women. They're sitting there eating lunch, and they're watching. They're watching you walk out. Would you feel cooler if you got in the Honda Accord or if you got in the Bentley? A Bentley, baby. I get in the Honda Accord for now. But the the Bentley has built this prestige. It's built this image of wealth and success. We're doing most frequently asked questions that lawn care business owners ask, and I got a little side tangent there. The next question I ask is the most popular question in the industry. And it is. Boy, that water is good. By the way, somebody asked me what my water is. It's lemon water. So I bought it 1.5 gallon water dispenser jar. I fill it up with water out of my refrigerator. And then I slice up fresh cold lemons and I put it in there, and the lemons seep into the water, and it's so delicious. Very hydrating. It's like 80, 85 degrees in Florida today. It's hot. Most frequently asked question in the lawn care industry: how do I handle seasonal fluctuations in business? Well, I'm going to start by saying you can plow that snow if you're in Canada or Minnesota or Wisconsin or northern parts of Michigan, northern parts of New York. Yeah, essentially, if you're high enough in the on the map where it snows enough that it would justify doing snow in addition to lawn care, then that's one way you can handle the fluctuations. You just mow in the summer and plow that snow, make that dough in the winter. But then there's the transitional states and the Pennsylvanias and the Ohios and the Indianas where it might snow a few times, but it might not. I grew up in Ohio. I mean, Columbus, Ohio, it might snow a few times a year, and it might snow really bad, like whiteout, huge snowstorm, but it might not. It's not Minnesota, nicknamed Minnesota because of the snow, Minnesota. It's not Canada. It's not northern Michigan. It's not northern upstate New York where it snows a lot. So what do you do in those states? There's a guy named Johnny Moe. He's from Pennsylvania. His goal is that by Labor Day every year, he has saved enough money from working his rear end off in April, May, June, July, and August during peak season, that he has saved his winter fund, FUND. So what he does is he kicks off the season in April, and he goes out there and he cuts that grass and makes that cash. He mows, baby mows. And then in May, the grass is growing, the birds are chirping, the customers are paying money, he's working. And then comes June. That grass is growing. It's growing, baby. He's cutting that grass, making that cash. July, mowing, making money. August, mowing, making money. What he's doing in April, May, June, July, and August that most lawn care business owners across the world are not doing is he's diligently saving that money in a winter savings fund. He has calculated what he needs to pay all of his bills for his family of 4 throughout December, January, February, and March. Because those 4 months in Pennsylvania, grass ain't growing, and it might not be snowing. But his bills, his groceries still need to be bought to feed his family of 4. His household expenses, they don't take a break, right? The car insurance doesn't say, hey, you know what? The grass ain't growing. You don't have to pay us. No, all the bills are still due, right? The mortgage man still needs paid. When you go to the grocery store and you run all the groceries. I was at the grocery store last night trying to save money, not eating out, going to the grocery store. When I got done, the guy's like, hey, it's $156, which I anticipated it being that much. I got a whole bunch of groceries, and I just swiped my card, but he didn't say, hey, how's your finances? You want to pay now or you want to pay later? What, no. Got to pay for your groceries then. So what Johnny Mo does is he works his butt off in April, May, June, and July. Again, the question was, how do I handle seasonal fluctuations in business? I'm telling you an honest testimony from a friend of mine. Called the Johnny Mo plan. He calculates what he needs in December, January, February, March. 4 months. And then he has the goal to save that amount by Labor Day. So he's currently working and he's currently setting aside that money. He's not going out and buying a brand new 2025 Chevy Silverado, but the money he's making from mowing, he's setting aside a portion of it until he hits that goal of having the winter fund saved. Now, once you have the winter fund saved, it gives you a little less stress and it gives you a little more options. And then he still finds ways that he can make income in those winter months. Whether you do snow plowing, you get a seasonal job, you have another side hustle, et cetera, et cetera. But I would get started with how do I handle seasonal fluctuations? Essentially, how do you handle the winter is the question. Budget and save during peak seasons so you could buffer slower periods. The lawn care industry isn't the only industry like this. I was talking with a lady a few days ago. Her and her daughter are both real estate agents here in town. And she sold one day a house that was close to $6 million. It's like, wow, it's a lot of money. And, you know, the commission for selling a $6 million house is gigantic. I think they get like 3% or something like that. But that doesn't happen all the time. It was like a nice win. But real estate agents, they have to, you know, they have fluctuating income as well. So my point is there's other industries where you have peak time where, you know, the money's flowing, you're making hay while the sun's shining. But you got to calculate out, hey, December's coming, January's coming, February's coming. I'm going to save some of this money I'm making during peak season so that I can make it through the slower season. Last question for today. The topic again is most frequently asked questions by lawn care business owners. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're even on Podbean for Jason Krill. What are the legal requirements for my lawn care business, Paul? Well, I'm only familiar with the state of Georgia and the state of Florida. I've owned businesses in both states, and you want to get properly licensed with your state. So I would start with the Secretary of State in your state. And quick disclaimer, this is not legal advice. I'm just sharing my, what I've learned with the legal requirements from just me running businesses in the states that I've resided in. But we have people listening in New Zealand and Australia and Europe, and I don't understand or have any knowledge of their legal requirements. But I would start with, if you're in the United States of America, start with your state and get the necessary license and really understand the difference between a sole proprietor versus an LLC versus an S Corp. I have a tax planner, Sheila. We have had lengthy conversations weighing the pros and the cons and the consequences and the requirements and all of these different things that you want to consider with your business entity and structure. So I'm not going to answer that in this question because there's so many variables, but I would get familiar with what your state is. I know my friend John Pajak is in Indiana, and they got all kind of crazy permits and things that you need where you're in Illinois and you're in Indiana, and he's just telling me about all this stuff. I was like, man, it's a lot more simpler down here in Florida. But I would also make sure you get insured, get properly insured. Make sure you have vehicle commercial insurance for all your vehicles that you're using for the business. Make sure you have a blanket general liability. Whatever the niche of your business is, just make sure you're licensed and you're insured. and you're compliant. Um, your business is compliant with all your governing authorities. Um, and that will help build trust with your customers as well. Um, when you have a legit business, you're licensed and insured, and you can even tell them that, when you're out quoting a job and just say, hey, just wanted to reassure you, we do have insurance. I've had customers ask me for my, there's like this, I don't know if it's called a declaration page or whatever it's called. But I mean, multiple customers are like, hey, can we see your insurance? I was like, absolutely. And I just printed it out, and it gave them peace of mind that, we subcontract the tree guy, and he has the tree insurance, um, but he has his own insurance as well, and he has it in his truck, in his folder. He has just copies and copies and copies of it, and he'll 100% of the time he'll show the customer, hey, I'm fully insured for a tree company, and he'll literally give him the insurance. Like, he's proactive with it. He doesn't wait till they ask him. He shows them, and then I would just hire Chance. What a name for a tree guy, Chance. Oh man, does a great job though, and fully insured. But gives customers peace of mind. Well, hey, thanks for listening all the way to the end of this Green Industry Podcast episode. Quick update on the Equip Expo, which is the largest trade show in the lawn care and landscaping industry. They are going to be raising their prices soon for the ticket. So this year it's $120 to go. But right now I can get you a ticket for only $12.50. How in the world can you get me in for so cheap, Paul? They're running a spring special for the month of May, and then prices are going up on June 1st. And in addition to that, when you get your Equip Expo tickets, if you use promo code Paul, you'll get an extra 50% off. So when all of that's said and done, if you get your Equip Expo ticket in May with the promotional code Paul, which you type in when you're filling out your ticket registration there, application, it'll just say promotional code, type in my name, Paul, your ticket price will go down 50%. And then you can get your ticket for $12.50. All right, I need to go get some of this lemon water in my refrigerator. And I had fun. This was fun. So thanks for hanging out with me on YouTube, Klein Lawn Care and Snowplow, for all the comments there. Thank you for everyone else for watching on Facebook. And thanks to all of our friends on Apple and Spotify. I appreciate you tuning into today's program. And I hope to catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.